Hey everyone, welcome back to another Rainbow Six Siege video. Today I'm trying a bit of a different format to usual. As you will have guessed, I'm doing a top 5 list, going through the top 5 maps I would like to see reworked in year 5, as well as maps I would like to see major map buffs for. A major map buff is what I'd compare to the clubhouse changes we got in year 3 season 2, or Operation Parabellum, where the map didn't have a full head to toe sweep, but had massive changes that made the map feel completely new. Anyway, let's get into it. At number 5 we have Fortress. Fortress is still fairly new, it's not even a year old. However, most of the community has expressed that the map is not fun to play at any competitive level and it's been removed from ranked as of Operation Rise. I actually don't mind Fortress too much, but I do understand that it can be stressful to play. The most common issue that I found online is the map size, which makes no sense to me because Villa exists and Villa is a great map. I feel like Ubisoft should go through this map and reduce the amount of crossfires that can be made, as well as considering the placement of soft walls around the map. Defending the commander's office / master bedroom can be annoying because of the amount of walls to worry about. Also, the way that the north and south sides of the map are connected via the corridors can be awkward to navigate. I don't think that Fortress needs a massive overhaul, mostly just how the corridors and rooms link, as well as the placement of soft walls and doorways. I don't think this map is far from being decent, not competitive but decent. At number 4 we have Bank. Unlike Fortress, Bank has been in the game since launch, and I don't think it's gone through any changes in its time, except for the recent changes to the alarms and sprinklers on the bottom floor. Now, Bank is not a bad map. I actually enjoy playing it most of the time. However, it can be very challenging to play for any team that's below Platinum rank. This comes from a misunderstanding of reinforcement placement and team positions, especially on the top floor, but this is also applicable to the ground floor. The basement has a really rigid meta, so that's very simple. I think that the basement could be changed to make the lockers a viable bomb site to be attacked, so it's not always CCTV. This is especially seen in the Pro League. The ground floor is mostly okay. I feel like the lobby area could use some changes with the windows and the size of the lobby. It's very intimidating for inexperienced players to attack that side of the map despite it being mandatory. Also, making changes to the small office right beside the lobby could be made safer for players to attack and use as a rotate. The top floor site would naturally change if the lobby had significant changes. Maybe reducing the amount of soft walls could help because many players don't actually know what to reinforce, so you just end up wasting them all in CEO office, leaving the executive lounge and conference room undefended and the janitor closet free for attackers. Very frustrating to play this map in ranked without a competent team. Now, Chalet is a bad map. The basement is very easily exploitable by the attackers. There are so many rooms where defenders will just die to window play. It can feel like any site is just a kill box. Weirdly enough, I actually enjoy Chalet quite a bit, but its problems cannot be ignored. This map needs a full head to toe rework. There are too many windows and dead ends that make defending a nightmare. Also, trying to rotate can feel impossible because of the crossfires that the offense can set up. It's hard for me to specify what needs fixing in this map because everything needs fixing, plain and simple. Removing the lobby windows and adding an area above the lobby for more rooms and rotates could be a start. Give library less windows as well. Push bar southwards to make that site larger and therefore defendable. This would naturally make game room easier to defend because the defenders will have more room to breathe and more of an ability to defend from above. All of these changes will ensure that the lobby is still a viable attack point, but there's more counterplay involved for the defenders. A 3-stacking attacker team can completely own this map by having one take the bedroom and clear and then have 2 go to the library. Adding a new point of entry from the exterior south balcony to the new network of rooms above the lobby will give the defenders more areas to move, as well as a way to rotate from entrance to entrance without getting crossfired. I would love to see this map make a big return if these big changes were made. It could honestly be a great map with some of these changes. At number 2 we have Oregon. Now, this one may sound weird as most players will say that they actually like Oregon, and maybe even argue that it's the best map in the game. However, the map is very linear. The strats on this map are very rigid, meaning that the defense knows what to do and how to play sites very well. This creates 2 issues. One is that the general player base can't attack properly, but most importantly it's stale. I still think Oregon is a fun and great map. However, if this map had some changes to the scale of Clubhouse in year 3, then this map could go from good to great. The map has the exact same issues as old Clubhouse, where the basement is the best site and the strats are extremely rigid, but playing any other site can be much more difficult. This was more extreme with Clubhouse, but you get the idea. I don't know what can specifically be done to improve this map, but the defenders need more options. If even a single attacker focuses a defending roamer, the defender probably won't stand a chance as it can be hard to rotate. The thing is, in some areas of the map this isn't an issue at all. I just know that this map could get some improvements that will massively improve the experience. I just can't put my finger on it. I want this map to be better than it is because I know it can be. Now, before we go to our number 1 map to be reworked or buffed, let's first give some honourable mentions. These are maps that just missed the mark for very specific reasons. Firstly, we have House. Ubisoft, specifically Alexander Remy, stated that he didn't want to rework House because it's essentially the unbalanced love child of Rainbow Six Siege. It's a map that isn't fit for competitive play in the slightest, but House can provoke so many reactions from the player base. It's the first map that we'd ever seen, and it's one of the first maps we all experienced together. For me, Hereford Base is the only other map like this, but that's been reworked already. IcyCat25 is a YouTube channel focused on Rainbow Six Siege content, and he made an excellent video a while back stating the changes that could be made to House, so it's less frustrating to play for us, but would still keep the essence of what House is, which is what Alexander wants. It's honestly a really good video and addresses many of the problems. It doesn't make the map competitive, but if Ubisoft went and did this to the map, most players would be happy, I'd imagine. I'll have the link to the video in the description, please go and check it out. Next honourable mention is for Border. The reason this map didn't quite make it is because I don't believe that it actually needs any altering. I'm not sure of the general public opinion on this map, but I've never heard anyone complain about it. Personally, it's not my favourite map to view competitively or play casually, but I don't think the map is a problem. I feel that the bottom floor could use a slight touch up to improve their viability in ranked. Maybe add a new balcony on the south end of the map connecting the break room and east stairs possibly. Some general gameplay flow changes around the tellers/bathroom bomb site as well as the lobby could go a very long way to improving this map. The blue corridor could also use a touch up possibly, an additional door, maybe some walls. I don't know what they could really do with that. I don't really know exactly, but if Ubisoft could make the downstairs more engaging to play and make traversal options better, that would help. Also, the roof angle to watch the upstairs corridor rotate can go. Maybe pushing the bathroom further west side and having a door between the bathroom and workshop. Also new cover to improve the gunfight quality. Again, this map isn't in need of a rework, but buff to this extent could make the map more exciting to spectate and more interesting to play. I think that the map just suffers from being on the smaller end, not necessarily a bad thing, but it does limit what can be done without a full-scale rework. If you watch that video I was just on about for House, and applied a lot of that design mentality to Border, it can really be something special. As Theme Park is being reworked for the 4th season of this year, I won't add this to the honourable mentions. Alright guys, we've made it. So the number 1 map that I would like to see reworked is Skyscraper. So let me first say that I actually prefer Fortress and Chalet over Skyscraper. So why would I put Skyscraper so high? Well, it has to do with Fortress being newer and Chalet needing a head-to-toe rework as opposed to what I would call major map buffs. An idea that I heard Macy J say is connecting the buildings where Dragon's statue is. This would mean removing the outdoor area here and just having a network of rooms between Dragon Office, as I call it, and the tea room side of the map. This would also shut down how the attackers only have to hold terrace to cut off all rotation, and it would make the map more fun for both sides. I personally think that the other areas of the map could also use some improvements as well. The bedroom/bathroom bomb site definitely needs to be bigger, and the packaging room needs to be less easily accessible to attackers. This will allow defenders to more easily control key points of the map as well as anchor down in bedroom or bathroom if they need to. The kitchen and barbecue portion of the map is mostly okay. I would say that the barbecue room and the restaurant outside of it could use some changes for where cover is, and in the case of barbecue, the entrances could also be changed, so that attackers can't just walk into the bomb site. The tea room/disco room bomb site is actually okay so long as the defenders can hold geisha, and even if they don't want to hold geisha, the changes to the restaurant and dragon statue would give defenders more options for where they want to hold. As the map is right now, the defenders don't have many options. Anyway guys, that's all for today. This was a bit of a different video, but I quite like the format, it gets me thinking. Maybe I'll make more of these in the future for all kinds of topics. I would love to see the Skyscraper changes come to the game in year 5. I'd also be happy with a full Chalet rework. The other changes I can live without, but I would definitely like to see those house and border changes as they are so easy and feasible. Of course, we don't know the year 5 roadmap yet, but when we see it, maybe I can make a video predicting which maps will be reworked. I hope some of my suggestions come true. That's all guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.